in terms of the mayor 2029, I am running for mayor of New York City. I never thought that I would even consider running for mayor of New York City, and I will do it with the best intentions, and I won't do it the way any other political person has ever done it. Your brother, Cuomo, Kung Fu Curtis, Kathy Hochul, Obama, Trump. The only way to beat this guy is to make it and take it with a New York City street fight mentality. There's no way to out-nice him. There's no way to out-slick him. I think that he's the greatest bullcrapper in the history of politicians, and that's saying a lot. But New York City needs to do something. We need to plan right now because 2029 is around the corner. And yes, I'm running for mayor of New York City, and I will only drop out until I feel like there's somebody who's more qualified that could actually beat Zohran the moron.
Well, a few things. One, why doesn't my brother get a nickname?
Because I like him.
Oh, all right. I got a few for you. If you want some suggestions, I'll ask you. I'll offer you later. You can get them for free.
I try to keep it nice, Chris. Okay,
oh, hey.
I try to keep it nice. You want me to give him a nickname?
Yeah.
I can give him a nickname. Give me a couple of minutes, but I'm trying to keep it nice here.
All right. I'll give you a little tip. He hates being called Andy. But you're nice about him, but you're not nice about the mayor. And here's my question, serious, as both of us loving New York City. Do you really believe we need more anger? That we need more in-your-face street fight mentality? Do you really believe that gets us to a better place? Because that's what you're suggesting.
No, I don't mean street fight. I don't mean street fight by any means physically. I meant mentality in terms of my election and my campaign in 2029. What is going on in New York, it's happening again tonight in Queens. What happened last night in Midwood section of Brooklyn, what happened on the Upper East Side. It's going to happen, and it's embarrassing, and we all know that this is going to happen. Each time these riots and these protests outside synagogues take place, the violence, the heat gets turned up more and more and more. And unfortunately, and I'm not a rocket science, you don't have to be very, very smart to know this, someone's going to die. And I hope and pray that something's done before that. The fact that these animals, these scumbags, are able to protest outside a synagogue with a mask on their face, harassing people, intimidating people. At very least, Kathy Hochul should have banned the mask for the protest, because then these people wouldn't be so bold, they wouldn't be so proud, they wouldn't be so, quick to do things with their mask covering their faces. At very least, Kathy Hochul should have done that when Eric Adams was still in, when they were doing this on Columbia University, we were doing this outside NYU, and they were doing this outside the hospital right on York Avenue. So at very least, that should have been done. It hasn't been done. Zohran the moron does not think that the state of Israel has the right to exist. We know what his wife thinks. We know she was the elation she was tweeting on October 7th, the liking, the murdering, the rapes. What was he doing in the corner? Was he just sitting there? He said what he said, and here we are. And unfortunately, we all know how this is going to play out. Unfortunately, somebody's going to wind up getting killed in New York City. And it'll be like at the end of Do the Right Thing. The next day, the sun will come up, and everybody be like, why did it happen? Could we have done this? Could we have done that? We should have tried to figure out this. It could happen now. At very least, Kathy Hochul needs to take away the masks and take away you can't protest with masks covering your face. It's not Halloween. I said this, you know what's ridiculous? I didn't want to come on your show because I said this the last time I was on, and things have gotten worse. What happened in Brooklyn last night was the worst one out of all the protests, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and someone's going to die.
Well, look, God forbid, nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see it.
But there's only one thing that ever works in these situations, Michael, and you and I have both lived it. I had to watch my father deal with it when he was first in office with Crown Heights. Then it was Italians, unfortunately, being antagonistic towards the blacks because a lot of my people are stupid bigots. And the only thing that works is having my father and Dinkins arm in arm, saying, you know, you come for one, you come for both. And it changes the dynamic. We need that now.
It's not happening. The cavalry is not coming, and Jewish people need to come to terms with it, that the cavalry is not coming. There is no Dinkins. There is no marching. If the cavalry was coming, they would have showed up already. So this idea of politicians, that was a different time. This is an amped up thing that is growing and growing every single day. And it's to me, like this morning, waking up and seeing the videos that I saw last night of grown men sticking, these bright flashlights in the kids of young Jewish kids in their neighborhoods. Like grown men doing this. This is their neighborhood. They're harassed. Listen, the writing is on the wall. They almost blew up Gracie Mansion. And the only reason why that wasn't a big deal and people forgot about that a couple of weeks ago is because, fortunately, Baruch Hashem, the bombs didn't go off. But that happened. It's going to happen. The swastikas in Queens.
I know.
The rhetoric, the hate, the fact that Jewish people in New York are uncomfortable walking around with stars. The fact that Jewish people in New York City are uncomfortable wearing kippahs. This is, and you know what they say? The great Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. If they could do this in New York City, they could do it anywhere. Right,
but the only thing that chases it out is the fact that the unity that we have in this place is bigger than any separatist identity, and it always has been.
Where is it?
But look, I just think that, put it this way, Mike, I know you're not going to do this, but just, you want to run for mayor, you want to call the mayor, whatever you want to call him, that's your right. You're standing next to the guy and saying he and I both represent something, which is we got to be tolerant of one another in this place, does a lot more than anything else that you're saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm all for that. And my bark is a lot louder than my bite. And I want to clarify again, because I feel like you misunderstood me when as far as my campaign, there's no way to out-finesse this guy, outsmile this guy. It has to be a dogfight. It has to be ugly, and that's what I will do in my campaign.
I get it. I'm just saying, Mike, he needs the help right now. He's going to have a hard time dealing with this on his own. And the more people who come around him and say we're not about this, the better.
But he brings in, but the Jewish people, and I'm not the one. I'm not the person he should invite in. I don't want to be that person. But the Jewish people that he has at Gracie Mansion, unlike Khalil Muhammad, who's getting deported, Muhammad Khalil, the people that are there are not telling him the reality and the truths. And he only surrounds himself with what I would call passive Jewish people.
Well, look. I'm just saying, we know what the solution is. I appreciate your outrage very much. I'm hearing it every day. As soon as this show is over, I'm jumping in the car to go home. I'm going through Queens so that I can check out what's happening. I'm with you. I love this city. I hate what's happening. But I think the blame is in the energy, and I think the fix is in the energy. But, Michael, you're always welcome to be here. And I never want to take you wrong. I want to give you a chance to make your best case. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. And the hair looks fantastic tonight, Chris.
Thank you.
It looks awesome.
It's pure ferret, by the way.
No, it looks good. It looks good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.